Moscow delivers strong message to NATO's newest members amid rising tensions.
New NATO members are now potential targets for Russia and face the risk of retaliatory attacks with nuclear weapons in the event of a conflict. Their previous non-aligned status granted Finland and Sweden certain international privileges due to their geopolitical position and other factors. Now that they are part of a bloc hostile to us, this automatically makes them targets of our armed forces, including the possibility of retaliatory strikes, potentially even nuclear ones, or preventive actions in accordance with our military doctrine. Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev warned on April 29th. He emphasized, "They are now simply in the crosshairs of our armed forces. Has their life gotten any better? No, these are political games." Finland and Sweden joined NATO shortly after Russia launched its special military operation in Ukraine. For NATO, the accession of Sweden and Finland, two countries that share a 1,340-kilometre border with Russia, represents the alliance's most significant expansion in decades. These countries will now benefit from NATO's collective defence principle, which treats an attack on one member as an attack on the entire alliance. Russia has repeatedly warned that it will respond to NATO's continued expansion toward its borders. Moscow views this as a major threat to national security and has declared it will take countermeasures following Sweden's accession to NATO. Medvedev had previously warned that Moscow could deploy nuclear weapons and hypersonic missiles in Russia's Kaliningrad exclave if Finland and Sweden joined NATO. In a related development, the Wall Street Journal earlier this week cited informed sources saying that Russia is expanding its military infrastructure near the border with Finland. This move by Moscow is believed to be in preparation for a potential conflict with NATO. Finland is reportedly closely monitoring Russian military activities near the border. According to Western analysts, Russia has had to redeploy forces from other regions in recent years to concentrate resources on the war in Ukraine. However, earlier this month, General Christopher Cavoli, commander of US forces in Europe, warned that Russia is rebuilding its military faster than previously anticipated. Despite heavy losses on the battlefield in Ukraine, the Russian military is rebuilding and growing at a pace faster than most projections, Cavoli said. Some Western leaders believe that in a few years, Russia could potentially launch an attack on NATO territory once its campaign in Ukraine ends. However, Moscow has dismissed such speculation.
Ukraine and allies propose NATO Article 5-style security commitment.
President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine and its allies are working on security commitments that would provide protection similar to NATO's Article 5. The announcement follows a recent meeting in London, UK, involving officials from the US, UK, Germany, France, and Ukraine. A peace proposal, jointly drafted by Ukraine and European partners and submitted to the US, calls for the establishment of a security guarantee mechanism akin to NATO's Article 5, backed by Washington. There are proposals and visions from the US side. A group in London has been working on this, including our European and American colleagues, Zelensky told reporters. The Ukrainian president clarified that Kyiv and its European allies are not requesting direct Article 5 protection, but rather a security guarantee mechanism with equivalent effectiveness. It's not Article 5 itself, but the forces and protection that Article 5 provides to NATO member states, he emphasized. Zelensky added that if Ukraine is not granted NATO membership, then at this point we need security guarantees. He also noted that what is currently under discussion are still proposals and are responses to those proposals, not finalized security commitments. Additionally, in a speech to the media on April 25th, President Zelensky mentioned an alternative approach, in which Kyiv hopes that Washington will provide long-term security assistance modelled after the US-Israel relationship. He emphasized that any future peace agreement with Moscow must be backed by sustained US military, financial, and political support.